Hi team, good evening. Students, ask your friends to join the session. Oh, students, say this one. What we discussed yesterday. Can you people help me? What we discussed yesterday? Yesterday we discussed about arrow functions. Am I right or not? Fine. Now, in the today's session, let me discuss about callback functions. So, what are callback functions? Whoever watching in the YouTube, just to get the confirmation. I'm requesting you, you people need to get the confirmation. Our folder is the web folder. Go to the web folder. No. So this is the information we discussed yesterday. Fine. Now, students are this one. What are callback functions? Fine. I have two functions. Now try to say this one. Here, function. Let me take the arrow function directly, not an issue. Let here we have the function one equal to I have parameter one. Here we have one parameter, that parameter we can call parameter one. No, students, I have another function. So how to create another function? Let function underscore 2. Let function underscore 2 equal to arrow function. No, students, how many functions we have? We have two functions, function one, function two. Fine. Now try to observe this one. What are what are callback functions? Passing one function definition. See this one. Passing one function definition to another function parameter. Another function parameter. Technically, we can call callback functions. Passing one function definition. So this is the function definition to another function parameter. Another function parameter. Technically, we can call callback functions. Fun. How to execute a function to? Now I want to execute a function to. How to execute a function to? If you want to execute a function to, simply we need to pass parameter one off. Whenever we call parameter one off, automatically who will execute a function underscore two will execute. Fine. Students, are you getting the clarity on the callback functions? Just to get the confirmation, just to say yes or no. What are callback functions? Students, what are callback functions? Passing one function definition to another function parameter called as callback function. Yes or not? And another thing, fun. In this example, function 2 passed to parameter 1. What is parameter 1? Parameter 1 is the parameter of function 1. Fun. How to execute function 2? If you want to execute function 2, at that time, we need to pass the parameter 1 off. Automatically, we can execute the function 2. Got it or not? Fine. Now, where to use the callback functions? Callback functions are used to make coming to the callback functions. Callback functions are used to make asynchronous calls. If you wanted to make asynchronous calls, at that time we need to go for callback functions. Fine. Students, this concept what do you call? Students, this concept what do you call? Callback functions. Do I need to repeat again? Do I need to repeat this concept? Say yes or no. I'm requesting you people. Do I need to repeat this concept again? Teja, I think just to put the just your focus is required. Teja, question number one. How many functions we have? Teja, here how many functions we have? At least to chart with us. My question is the Radhakrishnan. 9 functions na Nandini. Here we have the 9 functions. 4 functions na. Students, here how many functions we have? 2 functions. Function 1, function 2. Yes or not? Fun. I want to store function 2 definition in parameter 1. Where to store? Store function 2 definition in parameter 1. Then that concept we can call callback functions. Fine. And one more point. Why callback functions? Callback functions are used to make asynchronous calls. Fine. Now, students, let me do one example. I want to do one example. Very simple example I need to do. Fine. Now, go to the body tag. Let me take the script tag. Simply, I want to take the script tag. Fine. Here, let me create one function. Let test function. Let test function equal to what? Equal to arrow function. Fine. Students, here I wanted to pass parameter 1. What you wanted to pass? We wanted to pass parameter 1. Now, students, call test function. Whatever the test function we have, I wanted to call that test function. How to call the test function? Test function. Fine. While calling the test function, pass another arrow function. Fine. Students, is it a arrow function? Answer, is it a arrow function? It is a say yes or no. Whoever watching on the YouTube say yes or no. Is it a arrow function? Answer, yes, this is the arrow function. Whatever the function we have, then this function we can call arrow function. Fun. This arrow function, whatever the arrow function we have, that arrow function store to where that arrow function store to where whatever the arrow function we have, that arrow function store to the parameter 1. Got it or not? Fine. Next one. So coming to how to execute this arrow function. I wanted to execute this arrow function. How we need to execute this arrow function? Simply we need to call parameter 1 of automatically we are able to execute this arrow function. Fine. Coming to this arrow function, printing some message, documented dot write up, documented write off, say this one, documented write off. Here I wanted to plus welcome to what? Welcome to callbacks. Simply we need to place one message, then that message we can call welcome to callbacks. Fine. Students, I'm repeating again here. Is it a arrow function? I'm expecting at least to chart from you. Is it a arrow function? Say yes or no. Yes, this is the arrow function. This arrow function map to where? This arrow function map to where? Parameter 1. Whatever the arrow function we have, this arrow function map to parameter 1. Next one. How to execute this arrow function? Parameter 1 of. Whenever we call parameter 1 of, automatically this arrow function will execute. Once if this arrow function executed, what is the output? Output is the welcome to callbacks. Fine. Run the code. Yes, sir. Students, what is the output we are able to see? Welcome to. What is the output we are able to see? Welcome to callbacks. Automatically we are able to see the output. Output is the welcome to callbacks we are able to see. Fine. Next one. Yeah. Students, let me go for another example. I wanted to go through another example. Now here, let me take which tag? Students, which tag we need to take a script tag. Let me take one tag, then that tag we can call the script tag. Simply, we need to take one tag, then that tag we can call the script tag. Fun. How to create a arrow function? Let test function. Let a test function equal to arrow function. Fun. Here, what you want to pass, we need to pass parameter one. Next one, parameter one, parameter two. Next one, which one? Next one, which one? Parameter 3. Parameter 1, parameter 2, parameter 3. So many parameters we have. Now call test function. Whatever the test function we have, this is a test function we need to call. Fine. While calling the test function, how many parameters we need to pass? We need to pass 3 parameters. So this is the arrow function one. This arrow function store to where parameter one. Next one, comma, and here we have the another thing here. We have the another arrow function. This arrow function store to where this arrow function store to parameter two. Next one, comma. Here we have the arrow function. This arrow function store to where this arrow function store to the parameter three. One student say this one. First arrow function store to parameter one. Second arrow function store root to parameter 2. Third arrow function store root to parameter 3. Store root to parameter 3. Fun. Students say this one. Coming to the first arrow function. First arrow function returning. Return what it is returning. Return what it is returning here. Return front end. Students, what it is returning? It is returning front end. Fine. Next one. Second arrow function. Coming to the second arrow function. Returning one. Returning. It is a returning back end. It is a returning backend. Fun students. Coming to the third arrow function, returning. It is returning what it is returning. It is returning the database. Fun students, see this one. First arrow function. Is it your first arrow function? Yes. First arrow function returning what? Front end. Coming to the first arrow function returning front end. Fun students. Is it a second arrow function? Yes, this is the second arrow function. Second arrow function returning what? Backend. Now, students, is it a third arrow function? Yes, this is the third arrow function. Returning what? It is returning database. Third arrow function returning what? Database. Fine. Execute. I wanted to execute first arrow function. How to execute a first arrow function? If you wanted to execute a first arrow function, simply we need to place parameter one of automatically we are able to execute a first arrow function. Whenever we execute the first arrow function returning the front end or not, returning the front end. How to catch the front end? How we need to catch the front end? Let result one. So whatever the front end we have, that front end automatically store to result one. Automatically store to where result one. Students, it's a little bit difficult here, but you people need to think a little bit smarter. Then only you can crack the interview. Say this one. What it is returning? First arrow function returning what? Front end. This a front end store to where? This a front end store to where? Result one. Because of which keyword? Chart with me. At least you need to chart with me. Because of which keyword? Because of which keyword? Because of return keyword. Fun. Students guess it. How to execute second arrow function. So this is the second arrow function. How to execute second arrow function? I want to execute second arrow function. How we need to execute second arrow function? Parameter 2 of. Parameter 2 of automatically we are able to execute second arrow function. Fun. Second arrow function returning what? Backend. How to catch the backend? How to catch the backend? Let result to whatever the backend we have, that backend store to result to whatever the backend we have, that backend store to where result to. Now students say this one. I want to execute third arrow function. Whatever the third arrow function we have, I want to execute third arrow function. How to execute third arrow function? Here parameter 3. Say this one. Parameter 3 of automatically we are able to execute third arrow function. It is returning what? Database. It is returning database here. Here what we need to place, and here we need to place result 3. Fun. Students, result 1 contain what? Answer. Result 1 contain what? Result 1 contain front end. Result 2 contain what? Result 2 contain backend. And result 3 contain what? Result 3 contain database. And if you people wanted to print, you need to print it. How to print it? How to print it? Document dot. Say this one. Document dot write. Document dot write off. Document dot write off. Result 1. Result 1. Next one is the result 2. Next one, which one? Result 3. Result 1, result 2, result 3. Automatically, automatically, we are able to see the result. Students, are you getting the clarity? Are you people getting the clarity? What are callback functions? Passing one function definition. Say this one. Passing. Is it a function definition? Yes. Passing one function definition to another function parameter to another function parameter. Technically, we can call callback functions. Got it or not? Passing, I'm repeating 10 times, I repeated the same statement in the same session. Fine. Passing one function definition to another function parameter. Technically, we can call callback functions. Fine. Now, students see the one more example. I want to do the another example just to have the look into the one more example. Now, let me take the, here I need to take the which one? Let me take the script tag. Simply, I want to take the script tag. Here, we should be in a position, we need to take the script tag. Fine. Now, students see this one. Here, let me take addition. Let me take addition. Addition equal to arrow function. Arrow function, here we need to pass, what we need to pass? Num. Num, here we need to pass another thing here. What is the another thing? Callback. Num comma callback. Not only parameter 1 comma parameter 2, we can pass a comma b. We can pass num comma callback. We can pass anything, not an issue. Fine. Next one. SS1 is say this one. Call addition function. I want to call addition function. Addition of 5. Addition of 5. Students say this one. This 5, whatever the 5. This 5 store to where? Whatever the 5 we have, that 5 store to where? Here we have the 5 here, that 5 store to num itself. Whatever the 5 we have, that 5 store to num itself. Fine. Team. And another thing. And one more thing is the, now go to the another thing. And another thing is the, here, say this one. Whatever the 5, not only 5, we can pass anything. Not only 5, we are able to pass anything. Fine. Here and another thing. And another thing, 5 comma, 5 comma arrow function. Arrow function. Students tell me, whatever the 5 we have, that the 5 map to where? Num. Whatever the arrow function we have, this arrow function map to where? Callback. Got it or not? Is it right? Is it right, students? Respond. Respond. You need to respond. Fine. Num contain what? Team. Num contain what? Num contain at least anyone. Num contain what? 5. Is it a arrow function? Is it a arrow function? Yes, this is the arrow function. This arrow function, whatever the arrow function we have, this arrow function map to where? Callback. Got it or not? Fine. Now, this arrow function also contain parameters. Yes, possibility is there. Whatever the arrow function we have, this arrow function also contain parameters. Check this one. Here, first parameter, add result. Add result, comma. Next one is the, here I need to place the flag. Now, A comma B, we can pass the A comma B, not an issue. Fine. Shivani say this one. This arrow function contain which parameter? Add result. Second one, flag. Fine. Students, what is my requirement? My requirement is execute this arrow function. Whatever the arrow function we have, I want to execute this arrow function. How to execute this arrow function? Simply, we need to pass. Simply, we need to pass callback off. Callback off automatically. Whenever we call callback off, automatically we are able to execute this arrow function. whatever the arrow function we have, automatically we are able to execute this arrow function. Fine. While executing this arrow function, how many parameters we need to pass? Two parameters. So what is the first parameter? Num plus 5. Fine. Students, num contain what? Num contain what? 5. 5 plus 5 equal to what? 10. That 10 store to where? That 10 store to add result, comma, comma, and another thing is the false. Whatever the false we have, that false store to where? Flag itself. Fine. Students say this one. Add result contain whatever the add result we have. That add result contain 10. Add result contain 10. Flag contain, coming to the flag contain false. Fun. Now I think, I hope it's a difficult, but you people need to follow. Say this one. Whatever the whatever the num plus 5, whatever the num plus 5 we have, that a num plus 5 store to add result. And whatever the false we have, whatever the false we have, that false store to flag itself. Got it? Or at least half of the members are able to catch this flow. Are you people able to catch this flow? Answer. Sahiti. Got it now? Fine. Now say this one. How to print add result? I wanted to print add result. How to print add result? For example, if a flag contain false, if a flag contain false, for example, say this one. If it contain false, then print add result. How to print add result? Documented at rate of documented rate of. Here we need to pass add result. Yes. Students, are we getting the 10? Are we people getting the 10? Tell me, Shivani. Yes or not? Yes. Fine. At least let me explain the flow again. Okay? I need to explain the flow again. Whatever the flow we come, let me explain the flow again. Okay? Fine. Students, say this one. Whatever the 5 we have, whatever the 5 we have, for example, fun, say this one. Whatever the 5 we have, that 5 store to where? Num itself. And whatever the arrow function, students, is it arrow function? Answer, yes, this is the arrow function. This arrow function is stored to where? Callback itself. Whatever the arrow function we have, that arrow function is stored to callback itself. And another thing is the, for example, here, students, say this one. Here, whatever the 10 we have, this is the 10 or not, that 10 stored to where? Add result. And anyhow, here do we have the false here? This is false stored to flag itself. And finally, I wanted to print the 10. Do I need to type this code again? Do I need to type the code again? Or can I continue? Students, can I continue or do I need to type the code again? Yes, fine. Students, see the another example. I need to go to the another example. Let me continue. Fine. Not only this one, finally, at least I need only one line answer. Add result contain what? Add result contain what? At least one person. Add result contains what? Contains which result? 10. Flag contain what? Flag contain what? Flag contain false. Remember that point. Fine. Now remember that value. So fine. Let which one? Subtraction. Let subtraction equal to arrow function. Simply we need to pass arrow function. Here we need to pass num comma callback. Simply we need to pass num comma callback. Fine. Now can I call subtraction? Students, can I call subtraction? Yes, let me call the subtraction. How to call the subtraction? Subtraction of add result. Already you told na, sir, add result contain the 10. That 10 store to where? Answer, that 10 store to where? Num. Whatever the 10 we have, that 10 map to num. Got it or not? Comma. Here we have another arrow function. Another arrow function. Here I need to pass subtraction result. Subtraction result. Next one is the, here I need to pass the flag. Simply we need to pass the flag. For students say this one. Here num contain 10. whatever the arrow function we have, this is the arrow function. Whatever the arrow function we have, that arrow function stored to callback itself. Whatever the arrow function we have, that arrow function stored to, is it a arrow function? Students, is it a arrow function? Yes, this is the arrow function. Whatever the arrow function we have, that arrow function stored to where? Stored to callback itself. Yes or not? Fine. Now say this one here. Execute this arrow function. Whatever the arrow function we have, I want to execute this arrow function. How to execute this arrow function? Now try to say this one. Callback of. Callback of. Students, num contain what? Students, num contain what? Respond. This num contains what? Num contain how much value? At least one person. This num. Yes, 10, 10, not 5. It contains the 10. Fine. Now 10 minus 3. 10 minus 3. What is the 10 minus 3? 7. That is 7 stored to where? That is 7 stored to where? That is 7 mapped to where? Array responder. That is 7. Whatever the 7 we have. That is 7 mapped to which variable? Which variable? Sub result. Mapped to sub result. Comma. Comma. Next one is the comma. Next one is the false. False. Whatever the false we have. That false mapped to where? False. Whatever the false we have, that a false map to where? Flag. Fun. Students, tell me finally, sub result contain what? Sub result contain what? Sub result contain 7. Contain what? 7. Flag contain what? Flag contain what? Flag contain false. Whatever the flag we have, the flag contain false. Now say this one. For example, if of not flag. If of not flag. Now we need to print the 7. How to print the 7? How to print the 7? Documented at right of. Documented right of sub result. Wonderful examples, students. Wonderful examples. Now the answer is the, what is the answer? Answer is the 7 is the answer. Now we got the answer. Answer is the 7 is the answer. Got it or not? Say this one. For example, fun. Is it a callback function? Yes. One callback function depending on another callback function. Say this one. Subtraction depending on addition or not. Yes. Multiple in the future. Then we can enhance the program. Multiplication depending on subtraction. Subtraction depending on addition. And in the future, please implement the division also. Division depending on multiplication. Multiplication depending on subtraction. Subtraction depending on addition. Yes or not? So these kind of a dependency, technically we can call, see this one. So can I tell the dependence again? For example, in the future, I need to implement two more functions. What is the first function? What is the first function? Multiplication. Let multiplication function get. And here I need to implement, here I need to create another function. Which function? Division function. Here I need to create another function. Then that function we can call division function. Assume care. Funny, here we have the dependency. Which dependency? Division. Coming to the division. Division depending on what? Division depending on what? Multiplication. Multiplication. Multiplication depending on what? Depending on water, depending on subtraction. One subtraction depending on water, depending on addition. Say this one. One callback inside another callback. One callback inside another callback. Technically we can call. Technically we can call. Technically what do you call? Technically we can call callback hell. One callback inside another callback. Technically we can call callback hell. So callback hell never recommended. Coming to the callback help never recommended in real time. Fun. So never recommended. Fun. So what is the alternative? Yeah, say this one. What is the alternative for the callback help? The alternative for the callback help is promises. Got it or not? Fine. Now, students, just revise the concept again. What are callbacks? Revise the concept again. What are callbacks? Passing one function definition to another function parameter. Another function of parameter, technically we can call callback. Fine. Why callback? Callbacks are used to make asynchronous calls. Fine. What is callback hella? What is callback hella? Fine. One callback inside another callback. One callback inside another callback. Technically, we can call callback hell. Fun. Callback hell never recommended in real time. Fun. The alternative solution for callback hell. So, what is the alternative solution for the callback hell? The alternative solution for the callback hell is promises. Got it or not? Fine. Now, students say this one. I'm requesting you, you people need to practice this code, very, very important code. Whatever the code I done here, this code is the very, very important code here. So I'm requesting you. Now, so I'm requesting you, you people need to practice this one. Fun. And another thing is the now tomorrow I need to go for one concept, then that concept we can call promises. Let me go for the promises tomorrow. And Friday class, let me go for the form validations, like how to implement the like a username validation, password validation, so many validations we have. So I need to go for the form validations on the Friday class. Then on Friday, I need to attend the web technologies. Next week onwards, in the same slot, we need to start we need to start a data structures and algorithms like arrays, so strings, so like stacks, so queues, so linked list, very very important. So that concept we need to start in the next week onwards. This Friday, whatever the Friday we have the class here, this Friday we need to enter the web technologies. In the web technologies, two more topics are there. Promises are there and form validations are there. So let me cover the two topics. After completing the two topics, in the next week onwards, we need to start data structures and algorithms. Okay, now fine. Now, just students, I'm requesting you, you people need to practice this code. Fine. If you have any questions, please short with me, then I'm ready to reply. If you have questions, team, chat with me. If you people have the questions, please try to chat with me. Next, Nandini, after this fun, then you are eligible to attend the React.js classes. Nandini, after the JavaScript, yes, in the JavaScript, all the major topics are touched. Now, based on this knowledge, you people need to learn the React.js. Next, in the web technologies, next course is the React.js and Node.js. Fine. Next one, students. Are any other questions? Anyone? Valid questions? Upendra, you asked what are the topics are covered. You need to check now. You need to check from your end. Anyone have the questions? Fine. Now, maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow, then we will create a separate meeting ID for the data structures and algorithms. So then I'm requesting you people need to go to that course also. Okay, na? Fine. Thank you, team. Yeah, Bhargavi, I will cover the project. On Saturday class, I will cover the project for you. Friday class, I need to cover the project. Fine. Thank you, team. Bye.